What's up, Lakers fans? My name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com, and this is the Lakers Nation news feed. Guys, we are inching closer to the February 7th trade deadline, and that means the trade rumors are about to heat up, and boy, we've got one to discuss here today. Before we get to that, though, make sure you guys head over to the Vivid Seats app on your phone. Use the promo code LakersNation in all caps. You can get 10% off tickets to your next Lakers game. Vivid Seats is the official ticket reseller of LakersNation.com, so make sure you use that promo code LakersNation in all caps and get 10% off tickets to your next game. Okay, so the trade deadline's coming up, and there was a piece that just came out from Bleacher Report by Ken Berger that was talking about Bradley Beal trades. That was the focus of the article, was looking at different possible suitors for Bradley Beal if the Washington Wizards decide to move him. And, of course, he mentions the Lakers, and he throws in this little tidbit about LA. He kind of writes off the Lakers as a potential destination for Bradley Beal, but says that the Lakers have to be considered because of the LeBron James factor and the fact that they are in a, well, as Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report said recently, that they are in win now mode, according to a Lakers executive. But here's the interesting part. A quote here from a nameless NBA exec said, "At one point a month ago, they were dangling Lonzo Ball a little bit, but now they don't want to trade him." So about a month ago, the Lakers were considering, or at least throwing out the name Lonzo Ball in trade talks. And this is the guy, Lonzo Ball, that, of course, was seen as the new face of the franchise back in the summer of 2017 when the Lakers drafted him. I mean, Magic Johnson was talking about him breaking all of his records and how his jersey was going to be hanging in the rafters, and Rob Pelinka called him a transcendent talent. And now, a little over a year later, he's being dangled in trade talks. Now, of course, it says now they don't want to trade him. And, of course, Lonzo Ball's play has picked up on the floor. He's looked a lot better. Of course, we're coming off of that massive game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, where Ball was instrumental in getting the win. So it sounds like he's off the market right now, but maybe the Lakers weren't so sure about him as little as a month ago. And I guess I do want to, there's another part to this we need to get to, but I do want to preface this a little bit. Remember, this is a rumor, okay? And this is coming from not a Lakers executive, but a nameless executive. So this doesn't necessarily mean that we take this as gospel. This isn't set in stone that this is 100% true. It's always possible that, hey, another team asked about Lonzo Ball. The Lakers just didn't shoot it down right away. And then that means they were talking about it, right? That sort of thing can happen in trade talks. And then next thing you know, they were dangling Lonzo Ball a little bit in a trade. Okay. This isn't set in stone as like the Lakers are shopping Lonzo Ball or anything like that. But at any point, it's interesting that at least his name was out there. Now, the next part of this is about who actually is available on the Lakers. And it says, Josh Hart, Ivica Zubac, and Moritz Wagner are available, rival executives say, while pretty much everyone else is off the table. And then to get Beal, it's going to take a lot more than that. So, of course, this article is about getting Bradley Beal. But for us Lakers fans, right? Josh Hart, Ivica Zubac, and Moe Wagner are the guys that the Lakers have made available in trade discussions. That is pretty noteworthy because we're getting closer to the trade deadline, and those are the pieces that the Lakers are willing to move. So that means that Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Kyle Kuzma are not available. Now, reading between the lines here, you notice that they don't say JaVale McGee, they don't say Lance Stevenson, they don't say Michael Beasley, they don't throw in any names like that. Why is that? Are those guys off the table? No. Okay, if the Lakers got the right offer for say Michael Beasley, of course they're going to pull the trigger. They would make the move, right? But this article, they're looking at guys who have positive trade value who could potentially go after Bradley Beal. So you're going to mention Josh Hart, Ivica Zubac, Moe Wagner. This doesn't mean that Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson and those guys are untradeable, or that the Lakers just are going to refuse to move them. That's not the case here. Instead, they're looking at guys that have positive value. So what does this mean about the Lakers' strategy at the trade deadline? Well, it sounds like they're not going to move Kuzma, okay, which makes a ton of sense. He's extremely cheap. He makes about $7 million total for the rest of his Lakers contract over the next 3 seasons here, which is absolutely phenomenal value. Brandon Ingram, you could argue that maybe his trade value isn't that high anyway because he's had kind of this up and down season. Lonzo Ball has been getting better steadily. And remember, Magic Johnson was incredibly excited to draft Lonzo Ball. So even if their faith may have wavered in him in the last month or so, they're probably more prone to keeping him. Plus, those are the pieces where if you're going to trade for Anthony Davis or attempt to trade for Anthony Davis this summer, those are the pieces that you're going to have to use to do that. So if you ship them out now in some sort of a move, you no longer have those pieces to make a move with during the summer. So that makes a lot of sense. So what can they do with these three guys that were mentioned? Josh Hart, Ivica Zubac, and Moe Wagner? Not a lot. Honestly, there isn't a lot that they can do. And it's not so much that they are bad players. They're actually good players. I mean, Josh Hart has been up and down a little bit. His shooting hasn't been great recently, but he's still the kind of player that a lot of teams would love to have. He's scrappy. He's an excellent projected role player, still very young. Ivica Zubac has had his moments of brilliance, even though he is on an expiring contract. Moe Wagner obviously hasn't gotten a ton of playing time this season. He's a rookie, but I mean, still has some value because of that rookie contract. But you look at the money. So Moe this season is making $1.7 million. Ivica Zubac is making $1.5 million. And then Josh Hart is making $1.6 million. So when you look at that in total, you're not talking about a lot of money. Okay, that's not a lot that you could ship out in terms of salary. So that's going to limit the players that you could bring back because of the NBA's trade rules. Okay, where you've got to send out X number of dollars in order to bring back a sizable contract. So that means that in a trade, you're looking at a guy who isn't making much. Now, sure, there's some players out there that aren't making a lot that are still impact players or can still be good players, but are you going to trade those guys for one of them, for one of these players? You know, you look at, like, say, Jarrett Allen, right, of the Brooklyn Nets. Not that he's available, he's not, but just one player that popped into my head that's on a lower contract because he's still on his rookie scale deal. Are you going to trade him for any of these three guys? No, you're not. Most likely, you'd be swapping out a similar piece or a similar value for one of these kind of contracts, unless you decide that for whatever reason you don't want Josh Hart anymore, which the Lakers do. They don't get me wrong, or you don't want Moe Wagner. Maybe you can send one of those guys out for like a second round pick or some combination of assets or whatever. But the point is, for salary matching, you're not going to get a home run move with these guys. You're not going to ship these guys out for a Bradley Beal because you can't get close enough salary-wise. Now, maybe there's some scenario where you include like a Josh Hart and then the contract of, say, Rajon Rondo or Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. KCP makes $12 million, Rajon Rondo makes $9 million. You can include one of those contracts, and then maybe you have something, right? Maybe you've got something that you can find if the Lakers are willing to take on some salary. But again, it's tricky because the Lakers have this goal of chasing max free agents this summer. So if they take on any additional salary that's not expiring, then they can't really go after guys like Kawhi Leonard and Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant and all the other players that are available this summer. So is this a sign that the Lakers are making a move or anything like that? No. In fact, I think this having just those three guys as the main positive value assets available is going to make it pretty difficult to make a move. Okay, again, Josh Hart is locked up $1.6 million this year, $1.9 million next year, and then $3.4 million the year after that. So that's extremely cheap. So you're going to have to get a great deal in order to move him. But again, he's not going to land you a star. So the Lakers are probably better off just hanging on to him. Moe Wagner, teams aren't really sure what he is. The Lakers don't really know for sure what he is just yet because he's just getting his feet under him. He projects to maybe be an interesting piece moving forward as a stretch big. But is he a guy that's going to bring a big return? No, not at this point. Ivica Zubac, he's an expiring contract. Teams aren't going to go get him knowing that he is a free agent this summer and he could leave. He could go somewhere else. So again, it's not like there's a ton of value to be had by trading those guys. Nevertheless, though, this is interesting to see what the Lakers' plan is moving forward. If this is accurate, again, this is from a rival executive, but it would seem like if they're going to make a move here at the trade deadline, which is February 7th, it's going to be more of hitting a single. There's probably not a home run trade out there. Of course, if something, New Orleans calls up the Lakers and suddenly says, hey, if you give us Lonzo Ball and KCP and Brandon Ingram and we'll give you Anthony Davis, they suddenly decide to do something like that, then of course, yeah, there's a home run move right there. But it seems like if those three pieces are the ones that are primarily available for the Lakers, Josh Hart and Ivica Zubac and Moe Wagner, if they make any kind of a move, it's going to be more of a minor move. It's going to be more something just to give the team a little bit of depth, maybe give them a little bit of outside shooting, something like that, something that they could use for the short term instead of a big long-term splashy move. Looks like that's the direction the Lakers are going right now, according anyway to this piece by Ken Berger of Bleacher Report. All right, guys. That's it. Make sure you guys stay subscribed to the Lakers Nation YouTube channel. Keep it tuned to LakersNation.com for all your latest breaking Lakers news. As we get closer to a trade deadline, there's going to be more and more coming out. And, of course, check out Lakers Nation on social media. You've got the @LakersNation official on Instagram. You've got @LakersNation on Twitter and Facebook. And, of course, if you guys want, go ahead and follow me on Twitter @Trevor_Lane and @TrevorLaneNBA on Instagram. Thanks a lot. See ya.